Welcome to Restore workout number 1. I'm going to demonstrate the warm-up and then have you pause the video, go ahead and do it. Then you can come back, push play, and I'll walk you through the next phase of the workout. This is how you can move through all of the workouts moving forward. So starting with cat-cows, I want you to come onto your hands and knees. We're going to integrate our breath with our mobility. So cat-cow will look chin down, tailbone down. I want you to take a nice deep inhale here. Then I want you to go into your cow, chin up, tailbone up, and this is going to be your exhale. So you're going to inhale and exhale. You could flip your breath if that feels more natural. Whatever way feels best, I just want you moving and breathing through the same time. So go ahead and you'll do 10 of those, followed by some side lying thoracic rotation. So on our side, really important, I want you to make sure you bring your knees up. We don't want to be twisting through our lower back or our pelvis. You're going to have your hands start out to the side. You're going to rotate. I always say like you're pulling a bow and arrow as far as you feel like you can without moving your knees and hips. Take a nice big inhale here. Then exhale, you can return. So again, moving with our breath, we're trying to improve our mobility, but also work on our breath and the rib cage mobility. It is totally okay if you cannot touch the floor here. It's more important that you keep your knees together and only twist as far as you feel comfortable, okay? When you're done that, you're going to go onto your back and we're going to connect our core breath with some leg movement. So I want you to inhale. Then you're going to practice that core connection breath where we draw the pelvic floor and belly button up to our heart. We're going to inhale and then we're going to add a leg slide. So you're going to slide that leg out while you're exhaling and connecting with the core. Inhale, return. Again, you're going to exhale and move, thinking about lifting core and pelvic floor. Inhale, return. So go ahead and pause that now and go ahead and give those a try. All right, our dynamic warm-up is going to be focused on connecting with our core. So we're going to start with bird dogs. So on your hands and knees, we're going to find that core connection breath while we move. So a bird dog is an opposite arm and leg movement. The key is I want you to pretend you have a glass on your lower back of water or coffee, and I don't want you to spill it. It's really important we find this stability in our back, and don't stress about how high or how far or fast you move your legs and arms. So you're going to inhale into your ribs. Then as you exhale, I want you to reach opposite arm and leg straight out. You don't even have to lift it up off the floor. You're thinking about drawing that belly button up and in. Then you'll inhale and return. You can switch sides. So again, we inhale into the ribs. We exhale, lengthen, drawing that belly button in and up. If you feel like you can work on lifting, again, same thing. You're going to reach, think about reaching away from the heel of your foot and the fingertips. Don't stress about lifting high up to the ceiling, okay? So that will look like inhale, exhale, reach, draw that belly up and in, nice and stable. Inhale, return. So you're going to try 5 per side of those, followed by our glute bridge. Laying on your back, okay? Inhale into your ribs, and as you exhale, I want you to squeeze your bum, lift your hips up, okay? Inhale, lower down. Now, this is a really important one. I want you to think about your tension to task. So we're just lifting your hips. We're not lifting a really crazy heavy weight. So I don't need you to brace or bear down. We're just going to inhale, exhale, squeeze the glutes. Think about kind of gently pinching a quarter between your bum cheeks just to make sure you're using those glutes and not using your quads too much. Inhale, exhale, lift. No pressure in that belly, and you shouldn't have any pressure in your pelvic floor either. So you're going to do 10 of those. And then we're going to move to our kneeling squats. In a kneeling position, I like to untuck my toes here, starting with my ribs right over my pelvis. Okay, so a nice, good neutral posture. I'm going to move through my hips where I inhale into my ribs, I exhale and sit my butt down and come back up. So with this one, you can exhale through that full range of motion. But what I don't want to see is you tucking your tailbone and curling under. Okay, I also don't want to see you arching. So this is really starting to learn how to move through your hips with a nice neutral ribs over hips position. Okay, so you can inhale down and exhale up, or exhaling through that full range for 10 of those. Go ahead and try that twice. All right, for the main strength set of this workout, we're going to start with some push-ups. So I like to always start on an incline. So using a bench or a chair at home, You're going to start in a nice plank position. You're going to think about drawing your belly button in and up just to brace your core a little bit. Then you can do either of the breath strategies that feels best. So you can lower down as you inhale and then push on and breathe out, or you could exhale through that full range of motion. So if you like that, you're going to inhale, then exhale through that full push-up motion. So I want you to try, see what feels best, monitoring for any pain, pressure, or heaviness. Okay, remember our inhale, we want that nice big breath into the bra strap, so you're getting nice rib cage expansion to help manage pressure in your belly and your pelvic floor. When you're done 8 to 10 of those, and if the bench does feel too challenging, you can always go up to a wall push-up. That's still an incline, okay? We're gonna do our squats next. So with this, we're implementing blow and go, or we're implementing the blow then go. So I'll show you what both of those look like. So I'm gonna inhale and exhale, blow before I go. Then I'm gonna inhale down and exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Or you can exhale through the full range of motion. So inhale, then exhale. Inhale at the top, exhale through that full range. Whichever breath strategy feels best for you so that you have no pain, pressure, or heaviness in your pelvic floor, okay? I want you to try both and utilize that for 10 squats. When you're done your squats, we're moving into a bent over row. So if you have a bench, same knee and hand can go right on the bench. A couch or ottoman also works great, or you can just simply rest your hand on a chair if you don't have a bench. From this, you're going to gently let your hand and arm hang just a little bit, and then as you exhale is when you're going to row and squeeze your shoulder blade together, okay? Inhale as you lower, exhale as you pull up. One thing to keep in mind with this one is that you're not just moving your arm. I want you to think about pulling with that upper back and shoulder blade. Okay, again, monitor for any pain, pressure, or heaviness that you might have during these 3 exercises. All right, great job completing your first strength workout. We're gonna do some wall stretches now for our pelvic floor. Sometimes after you've done some new exercises or harder exercises, the pelvic floor might have been loaded a little bit more and feeling a little bit tight. That can present itself with symptoms of heaviness or pain or pressure. So we wanna make sure you don't experience any of those. We're gonna come down to the floor and we're gonna lay on our backs with our legs up in a V position. I want you to place your hands on your pelvis, feeling for your hip bones and your pubic bone, and feel like that is flat. So I'm gonna wiggle myself away from the wall a little bit until I feel like my pelvis is nice and flat. Then I'm gonna start to do some breathing where I'm focusing on relaxing. I'm gonna start with some gentle belly breaths where I allow the breath into my belly, and every inhale, I'm gonna think about my pelvic floor opening like a flower blooming or like elevator doors opening. Okay, so I'm gonna do about 3 breaths here. Then I want you to try 3 breaths, focusing on that lateral breath as you breathe into your bra strap. Again, I still want you to think every inhale to let go of that pelvic floor tension, whichever cue seems to resonate best with you. Then I want you to try 3 back breaths where you're trying to get your ribs to breathe into the floor. And again, think about relaxing that pelvic floor. So your sit bones coming apart, your pelvic floor is opening and blooming like a flower, or elevator doors are opening. Once you've done that for at least 3, 3, and 3 breaths, you can come out of it, or you could stay here for a little bit longer if this feels really nice. Once you've done your pelvic floor wall stretches, we're just going to move into some general stretches that might feel nice after doing some strength training. So a couple options for your quad stretch. You can stand and pull that heel to your bum. If you're going to do it in standing, I want to make sure that you're not arching your back, so maintaining nice posture and alignment, and you should feel a stretch through the front of your quad. This could also be done on the ground, laying on your stomach. So sometimes this feels more comfortable. Okay, and in this case, you're pulling your heel towards your bum here. If you had a C-section and you are experiencing too much pain or discomfort or pulling or tugging, sometimes a foam roller is a really good alternative for the quad stretch. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. In case you can't tolerate the quad stretching, you could just gently lay on the foam roller, going back and forth instead of stretching that quad. For your chest stretch, after you've worked your push-ups, you're going to utilize a wall. Okay, I like arm bent at about 90 degrees. Finding a wall or a doorway works really well, and you're gently turning away. You should feel the stretch in your chest muscle, not your shoulder. I like the bent arm position to really focus on the chest. You can do it with your arms straight. This might get a little bit more into your bicep, but whichever one feels best. You're just going to gently hold this for about 30 seconds. Another good time to practice relaxing and working on your breath. And our last stretch that we're going to do today is a child's pose. So you can find a position with your knees that feels most comfortable. Reach those arms forward, stretching into child's pose, rounding your back and reaching your fingertips. From here, this is another great place to practice that back breath, inhaling into your ribs and just exhaling and relaxing.